What's up, you guys? All right, well, man, it was so nice out yesterday. Yesterday it was like 70, 72 degrees here. Today we're starting to get a little bit of rain. It's cooling off. It's still comfortable, but it's a little cooler. Another green day, Monday, May 4th, and I'm locking up just about $6,000 of profit. APDN, big momentum stock. I mean, we had some great opportunities on that. Not the cleanest that I've ever seen. I was hoping that we would get a little bit better follow through. We had some flushes, some pops back up, a retest of VWAP twice. It failed, but I made some money on it. So, green is good. And as always, I'll be back at it first thing tomorrow morning. I've shut down my trading station for today. I'm not going to take any more trades, but tomorrow morning I'll be live streaming my watch list right around 9:15 on YouTube and on Facebook. So tune in for that. Make sure you guys are subscribed. We had, I think today, almost 6,000 people streaming on YouTube, which was awesome. So thank you guys for tuning in. And tomorrow, let's hope for a really nice gap scan and some awesome stocks hitting the high a day Momo scanner, and try to have another green day and get this month of May off to a really awesome start. All right, as always, questions, comments, leave them below. We'll see you guys first thing tomorrow morning. All right, you guys, so we're going to do midday market recap here. Today, I've actually kind of lost track where I'm at on the green days, and I think that's fine. It's not really a big deal. I'm in the 20s for sure. Today's a green day again, and APDN was the one that I was trading the most aggressively. Not a bad day. I've already looked and seen where I'm at. It's not going to be a surprise to me, but I'll show you guys where I'm at. So two stocks I traded today. APDN straight off the watch list. Boom, $5,738 on that one, and $6,000 on the day. So a nice start to the month here. Max share size was 6,000 shares. So I pulled basically $1 a share out of APDN with 6,000 shares max size. Not bad at all. A lot of dip entries, a couple breakout trades, and unfortunately this one was a little on the weak side. Now, I expected it would be a little weak out of the gates because it had such a huge gap up. I kind of thought with this type of gap, because this stock has a history of dropping, there's probably some bag holders, some people that are under the water. So that's someone who might have bought this on this day at $8. It dropped down to $4 and they're still holding. Or someone who bought it on this day at $7.50. It drops down to $6 and they're still holding. Holding and hoping it goes back up. So on a day like this, what sometimes those people will do is they'll be like, okay, I'm holding the stock, so I'll take a test trade on ZVZZT. ZVZZT is the NASDAQ test stock. So I've got 1,000 shares. So they'll say, okay, I'm just going to throw out an order on this at, let's just throw it at $12. And I'm going to put a sell order up there. I got to buy another 1,000 shares first. There we go. So sell order, and they're just going to have a sell order at 12. Now, if this sell order is good till canceled, and it's not a day order, it'll stay there live for days, for weeks. Now, if they go to work, whatever, they're not watching the market, they check on their phone, yeah, I'm still holding, my sell order's still there. But what may happen at some point is all of a sudden the stock has a huge gap, as this one did, gapping up to 12. And so as soon as the bell rings, remember, those types of orders do not execute pre-market. They don't execute until the market opens. So right out of the open, I sometimes on these expect a little profit taking. And again, this is in the specific instance where the stock has a history of popping and dropping, and through that action, trapping some people as bag holders on the long side. So I expected a little bit of a sell-off out of the gates, and I wanted to buy that first dip and then sell into that rip going higher. And in fact, this opened and kind of started ripping right away. And so it gave a couple of trade opportunities right in this first range before it started to really sell off a little bit more. Let's see. So today's trades, I have the live trading archives on them. I will be reviewing these for Warrior Pro students in our Warrior Pro session that we're going to have in just a little bit. But basically, right out of the gates, I started looking at dip entries on it. My very first trade, I think, was a quick long, very, very quick for the break. So this was the open right here. So we're looking for the bell to ring right here. It dips down for a second, and I kind of thought, all right, it's sort of holding here. So I gave a second for it to dip, and then I was looking for it to pop back up through 12. So that was my first trade right down here. And notice how my data felt a little lagged. I was like, what's going on? You know, I feel like my orders are lagging just for a second. So it dips down here for a second, and I get in there at 57 with a stop at 50, and I'm looking for this to pop back up through 12. And, you know, it does. It makes a nice trade as it moves back up through 12. So that was my first trade on this. But I ended up taking a number of trades, and we'll go over all of those in the live trading archive. So I'm going to cancel this order and sell that. So anyways, unfortunately, although I got some nice dip entries on it, there weren't a lot of really good breakouts to be had. And that was because this ended up not being able to break back over the volume weighted average price and just going lower. This was the last attempt, and it really for a second looked like it was going to go. And I was looking at this thinking, man, if this thing breaks 11, it's going to rip back up to 11.50, 12. We're going to have a little short squeeze on our hands. And it just couldn't do it, which was kind of a bummer. So then it flushed down here, strong drop right through here. I tried to do a dip on it at 10.50. Actually, I tried to do a dip on it at 10.60. I stopped out of that probably down like $100. I then got back in at 10.48 and I stopped out at 10.38 for a $600 loss. And then I got back in at the low. Let's see, my best entry on this was actually 969. The low down here was 963, and it popped back up over 10. So I had to take a couple stabs at that, and I probably gave back a little profit off the top. I would say I was probably up, if I'm up 6,000 now, it's probably up closer to 7,000, maybe 6,500. But it's fine. I don't mind giving back a little bit of profit off the top. I just, it's important to know when to walk away. And each day I sort of am playing that game of taking that one extra trade, and am I adding profit or am I giving back profit? And I continue to add some profit today. So, up until those last two trades. So I did trade a little bit more today on APDN than maybe another day I might have, but it was, I would say, generally paying off. And then I gave back a little on the last two trades. So that's my cue to walk away. And RVP, this one hit the scanners early. But, it really, for me, was kind of tricky. Number one, it didn't really feel like a 5 million share float. I'm not sure that it actually is. It's sometimes hard to know whether or not this data is correct. But a quick move here, a high of 4. I got in for the break of 4 right here. And actually, I was in at... I was in at like, 395 or something like that, and sold it right at like 399, and then it broke 4 without me because something about it just didn't feel quite right. Then it hits a high of 412. Then it breaks 415. I tried to take another trade. It hits a high of 432. Big seller. A drop. I took a pullback entry, bounce off the VWAP. It rips back up here, but it didn't trade this super well. And then I took my last trade on it, pull back down in this area. But in any case, only $300 on that one. I was a little slow to pull up the stock. And then, because, this sort of thing, I was dialed in on APDN. And when I'm really dialed in on a stock, I usually have my head like 12 inches from the computer screen, and I'm just staring at the level 2. I'm like intensely staring at it, not unlike the way June would stare at a chipmunk, sitting out on the porch, just like waiting for an indicator. And so I'm watching the level 2, watching the tape. And so when I'm that deep in the zone, I can't watch two stocks at once. I can't, and I really can't even just sort of watch another stock, because the second I look away, all of a sudden I lose my place on this. Because it's moving. The whole time you're looking at it, generally, especially when there's a lot of volume, it's moving. So the moment you look away, you lose your place, and all of a sudden I'm disconnected. Now that's okay when I'm doing breakout trades and I'm not really intently trying to capitalize on a stock. But APDN, number one, being very volatile, being a former runner, and being a stock that I have made some really good money on in the past, I didn't want to miss a break of the VWAP. And I didn't want to miss those really good opportunities. This was a day back here where it went from $6 to $20. So it's a stock that I know when it rips, it really rips. And it's probably not going to do a break of VWAP today, and even if it does, I'll miss it at this point. But it was one that through this area I was watching pretty closely, and I didn't want to miss that possible break. So focusing on one, trading it pretty well, and I'll be back at it tomorrow. So today is May 4th, Monday. It's our second day of the month, second green day for me. So I'm now sitting up about 15 grand or so on the month, which is pretty good, and sitting up about $106,000 or so since my last red day, which is obviously a pretty nice green streak there. I didn't import yesterday's trades. I don't think it was a green day. I made $9,000. It was a really good trade from Friday. It's not really going to be super helpful. I'm not going to get any significant data just by looking at one day, which would be the first day of May. So I'm not going to review that one today, but maybe later in the week I'll pull up my TraderView stats and we'll see where it landed. I did a nice live video over the weekend for those that caught it, which was my April month in review. So, and usually that's what I would do during the Warrior Pro Mentor session that I'm going to host tomorrow, the first Tuesday of the month. I usually do a full previous month in review. So I did that as a nice live, and I'll go into more details as you guys may have questions about it. But this is where things settled for the month of April. Gross profit, $92,000. My commissions weren't insignificant. I mean, they were there. I uploaded everything as net profit to the website, which corresponds to my broker statement. So those who are curious can see that. But it was a really nice green streak, 20-something consecutive green days. And now starting May with 2 more green days is just a nice way to continue this hot streak. What I would say is that although APDN was weak today, and although it was gapping up like 90% and is now up only 48%, it gave some good opportunities. And when we get one like this that opens, pulls back, and then rips through the VWAP and squeezes up to 15, 16, 17, 18, that's the one that I'm going to be really, trying to dig deep, be disciplined, and trade as aggressively as I can while not, over trading and giving back profit. So that's that tightrope. And today, it's pretty obvious that it's time to walk away. The stock is pulling back, but on another day where it was going higher and higher and higher, I may be tempted to continue trading it. So yeah, it's definitely a good time to be quick. But again, it's depending on the variation of the strategy that you trade. Obviously, I'm a momentum trader, so I'm trading momentum, I'm trading quick breakouts, and you can trade that strategy in many different ways. You can trade that in the way that I trade it, using hotkeys and quickly reading level 2, but you can also do it on 5-minute time frames where level 2 doesn't become as important, and you're able to slow it down. You can even do it on 15-minute time frames if you really want to. So you can adapt the momentum strategy to your comfort level. And you'll see even with large caps, Mike and some of those guys will trade variations of momentum. They've just modified it to the large caps. On Tesla, during our recap on Friday, TSLA, we took a nice trade, which I didn't even realize how nice it would be, but we took a bounce trade on this. This was off of 690. So those who were in that session, you recall, we had this this break of 700 here, and that was the first break of 700 was right here. It broke 700. It flushed. First it broke 700 right here, then popped up to 705. That was in like a 1 minute candle. And then it flushed. Then it came back up, dropped, and then curled back up. So, I mean, you can trade the dips. You can trade the momentum on really any price. It's just finding what fits within your comfort zone. So I think, it takes a little bit of time to figure out what feels right for you, and that may be a little bit based on your prior experience with trading. It could be based on your comfort with the computer. I take for granted that I can type pretty quickly and that I'm feel very comfortable on a computer. The computer can kind of just be an extension of my body in a way, where it's like I've used it for so long that that makes it easier for me to operate very quickly. There's no delay with hand-eye coordination with watching the level 2 and then reacting using the computer. Some of us who have been, done gaming in the past, I know Jess was talking about some of his gaming, you've got that hand-eye coordination down. But for those that have never done that, and this is very new, then you may decide that adapting the strategy to focus more on the 5-minute time frame is a better fit. But the only way to really discover that is to practice for a while, get a sense of how you do trying to trade the strategy exactly the way I trade it, and then from there making some adjustments. All right, so I also posted over the weekend a blog on a couple of cars that I would love to have parked in my dream garage. And some of you guys saw this and commented on it, so thank you guys who did that. Those who want to check it out, you can see the new blog right here. This is my tire kickers project. So I'll post this for you guys, and I have a Facebook page on it as well. So this is the Land Rover electrical project that I've been working on, rewiring my dashboard, which has been a fun project. It's something that I've never done before. I've done a teeny bit of it, but most of the work I've done on cars has been engine related or mechanical, and so this has been a little different to do this type of project here. So I've been kind of blogging about my process. Hopefully this helps other people that end up working on this same car. But for those in our community who are also tire kickers and like looking at cars and stuff like that, definitely check out the blog. I write about cars that I would love to drive or own, that I see for sale somewhere, and I'm just like, oh man, that's the one. Because that's one of the things that I like to do is my kind of downtime, just to chill out, relax, and check out some cars that are for sale. And I've looked at, over my lifetime, hundreds of thousands of cars, and I don't usually buy them. But I like to look, and this is kind of also a way for me to put an archive of like some of the things that I will research when I'm looking at the cars, but then totally forget about, like the production numbers. So those who want to check that out, and the mini cars, these ones are a lot of fun. So anyways, maybe some of you guys will find this interesting. You're welcome to check us out. I've got the Facebook page, and I've been working on this for a while, but kind of just like a little side project. So anyways, that's it for me. I'm gonna switch gears here. I have a quick meeting, and then I'm gonna jump into the Warrior Pro mentor session where we'll do some Q&A on today's trades. So I'll see you guys there, and I hope you guys all have a great day. We'll be back at it first thing tomorrow morning. Hey, have you seen my most popular video on YouTube? It's got over 5 million views. You can check it out right here and check out one of my other videos on YouTube right here. I hope you guys enjoy, and as always, if you have questions, leave them down below in the comments section. I personally respond to every comment that's posted.